Rails part. So what is Rails? Ruby on Rails, or sometimes simply with the abbreviation ROR, is an open source web framework application written in Ruby and created by David Heinemeier Hansson in 2004. Now, the first part of that you might notice that I said was open source, and that's one of the reasons that people are excited about it. And you can see the difference. Ruby was written in 1995, Ruby on Rails in 2004. It really is Ruby on Rails that has gotten people excited because of what it allows you to do with Ruby. Open source software, if you're not familiar with it, is source code that's available to everyone, free of charge, with little or no restrictions on its use. And so that means that the community can take the code, they can suggest and make improvements to it, they can make modifications, bug fixes to the code, and then in turn give that back to the community so that it's a constantly evolving software and you don't have to wait for a company to come out with a new version of the software. And that's got a lot of people excited, plus just having open access to the code so that they feel like they're part of the process. And if you don't like something about the code, you can fix it yourself. I told you that we would come back and talk about what a web framework is. A web framework is a set of software tools, pre-written code libraries, and data organization structures that will assist you in writing web applications. The reason that Rails helps you to build web applications is that it has these code libraries and data organization structures already in place. And because we're going to be working inside of those, it's going to help us to build our application much faster. A real-world analogy to this might be that Ruby is the clay, while Rails is the potter's wheel, the water, the sculpting tools, everything that we need to make a nice jar, clay pot. And all we need to do is add our skill and imagination. We could certainly make a pot with only the clay, but it would be a lot more difficult, and in the end, our pot might not come out looking so nice. So we're going to be glad in the end that we have this web framework that's going to help us to create better websites and much faster as well. One last thing I wanted to mention about Rails is that the current version of Rails is 1.1.6, and that's the version that came out in August of 2006. But version 1.2 of Rails should be coming out anytime now. Currently, they're saying early 2007. So by the time you actually watch this movie, it may be already out. But don't worry, if that's the current version of Rails, most of the things are going to be improvements and enhancements to it, and certainly everything that I'm going to teach you in the essential training today is still going to apply. Now that we understand what Ruby is and what Rails is, let's take a look at why Ruby on Rails together is a powerful combination. In the next couple of movies, I want to talk to you about the things that make Rails so powerful.